Government pushing ahead with plans for a green economy. Concerns raised about teen-related crimes. And in sports, a decision reached in that controversial Caribbean Championship race.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
A very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the CBC Evening News. The Barbados National Oil Company is being challenged to play a greater role in government's pursuit of a greener economy and society. Many of the country's expectations were laid out last evening by Prime Minister Frundell Stewart as he officially opened the BNOC's Green Maintenance Facility at Woodbourne in St. Philip.
Representing a cross-section of government officials and sectoral interests, including representatives of the solar industry and the alternative energy sectors, Prime Minister Stewart was taken on a tour of BNOC's St. Philip facility. And very early in his address, he gave an indication of the expanded role projected for the BNOC.
One would expect that the Barbados National Oil Company Limited, now seeing itself as a producer of energy, will give substantial consideration to using the properties which it owns and leases for the production of solar, photovoltaic, and thermal energy, as well as wind energy.
Prime Minister Stewart also wants an upgrade of the BNOC's Renewable Energy Department to a fully fledged division or even a subsidiary company to undertake a number of pilot projects. These would include working with the BIDC to retrofit factory buildings for improved efficiency and renewable energy from solar photovoltaics. The Prime Minister hopes that Barbadians will follow government's lead with the possible creation of new industrial development.
The government's push for retrofitting of the country's buildings and the generation of electricity from renewable sources of energy will also see the emergence of an industry for skilled persons to execute the energy efficiency retrofits and maintenance thereof, and for persons to execute the projects for the generation of electricity from renewable energy sources and the maintenance of such systems.
Prime Minister Stewart also told the gathering he expects the use of natural gas to become more widespread in the not-too-distant future.
When the natural gas pipeline project is completed, and our supply of natural gas is enhanced by the importation of that commodity from Trinidad, most of the gas will go to generate electricity at lower cost to Barbados than is now the case in using fuel oil or diesel.
Government's plan also includes the retrofitting of some 3,000 houses per year for solar photovoltaic electricity systems, a project expected to be for 5 years in the first instance.
Our aim would also be to generate half the amount produced by households from commercial properties, including hotels, malls, factories, retail establishments, and office buildings.
By 2026, government hopes some 112 megawatts of electricity will be generated from solar energy, with a price tag of around 200 million Barbados dollars, but with substantial savings in foreign exchange, reductions in electricity costs, and an improved environment. Peter Thorne, CBC News.
Thank you, Peter. The Ministry of Education is gearing up to welcome thousands of children back to school next week for the start of the school year. Education Minister Ronald Jones toured a number of primary schools today that underwent repairs under the ministry's summer domestic program.
Education officials toured 5 schools today which underwent some level of repair during the summer holidays. Education Minister Ronald Jones says a total of 23 schools underwent repairs during the period at a cost of just over $1 million.
The minister's first stop was at the Erdiston Nursery School in Government Hill, which underwent an $80,000 facelift. This included the construction of a nutrition area, storage facility, staff kitchenette, and the building of a walkway to the principal's office. At Wilkie Cumberbatch, an enhanced nutrition area has been constructed at just under $80,000. New windows and a covered walkway to the nutrition center will greet students on their return to St. Bartholomew Primary, while at Milton Lynch, an additional nutrition center has been built at a cost of $36,000.
We're reasonably satisfied with the work which has been done by the various contractors. We try to spread the work as wide as possible so that you wouldn't have clustering in the delivery of these projects. I mean, it's a very narrow window in the summer, 8 weeks essentially, to get schools ready.
One of the ministry's major undertakings this summer has been the renovation of the old St. David's Primary School, which will now be called the Thelma Berry Nursery. At a cost of $170,000, the new-look building will be open in another 2 weeks. In the meantime, the students will be temporarily housed at the St. David's Church until work is complete. Principal Angela Chaplin expects the new school, which has 4 classrooms, to be a hive of activity.
We hope to make it into an excellent school, a state-of-the-art school. We want to offer things like violin and Spanish. We want to have a lovely play park. As you can see, we do not yet have any facilities for our play park. We are going to be offering dance and maths, language arts, social studies, all the areas of the curriculum.
Minister of Education Ronald Jones also revealed that plans are in place for the construction of a facility for deviant at-risk students who disrupt the normal workflow in schools. He says the tendering process has already started and the project will begin early next year.
Rather than having them suspended every 10 days, in this school there's no suspension. In this school there's work. Work which also deals with life skills activity, building self-esteem, those kinds of attributes, those kinds of behaviors which are necessary, while at the same time still pursuing technical, vocational and academic agenda. It isn't that they will not be doing that, they will still be pursuing that, but it is about self-empowerment, giving them new perspectives of life or on life.
The new school term starts on September 5th. Damien Best, CBC News.
Meantime, Minister Jones has reacted to the recent number of crimes involving teenagers. He says the school and the home must be able to identify potential bad behavior. The Education Minister believes the aggressive display by some youth is borrowed from other cultures.
It's not the school's fault. It is how do you deal with individuals who are possessed by demons. Let's call the truth the truth. Many people, young, old, or in between, are possessed by demons. And we will scoff at that. If evil takes over your soul, evil will cause you to behave in a given way. And until many of our young people are cleansed of the demons that are in the souls, you will get that level of behavior. And the implements are there for them to behave.
Mr. Jones also says too many young people have access to guns.
Where are the guns coming from? They're not manufactured in Barbados. We don't have a gun industry. They're not imported by legitimate people who are licensed to import guns, who sell them to people who are issued with license by the Commissioner of Police. They are illegal. So they're filtered across our borders in whatever form, I don't know. And they are traded, they're rented. You can rent a gun in Barbados.
Police are investigating another murder. That is 17-year-old Justin Jean of number 744 Kingsland Terrace, Christchurch. The teenager was involved in an altercation last night with another man when he received a stab to his chest. The incident occurred at a place called King's Court Lodge Road in the same parish. Jean reportedly ran from the scene and collapsed a short distance away. Police have a suspect in custody assisting with the investigations. And police have charged a 51-year-old man with the stab and death of Michael Maloney earlier this week. Jeffrey Rudolph Anthony Lynch of Silver Hill Village, Christchurch, is expected to appear in court tomorrow to answer a charge of manslaughter. Maloney was stabbed just outside one of the entrances to Sheraton Centre on Monday afternoon. Well, residents of Mason Hall Street in Bridgetown got a scare today when a fire broke out at a house in the area. The building was completely destroyed, but people living nearby are saying it could have been a disaster. That's because the houses are very close together. The owner of the house, 23-year-old Kenroy Critchlow, was on the job in Bridgetown selling fruit when the fire started. He says everything was lost in the blaze. A distraught Mr. Critchlow could not say what's going to happen next, not even where he will be spending the night. The fire service responded to the emergency call with 2 fire tenders, 9 officers and 2 gazetted officers. As Redjet takes to the skies again after some problems with its aircraft, the Barbados-based airline has come in for high praise on the way it has been dealing with stranded passengers. Members of the Pinelands Academy who were caught up in the delay in getting home from Trinidad finally made it back home last night. And MP Hamilton Lashley, who was on hand to meet them, complimented the airline.
I think Barbadians know the fact that the airline experienced some serious turbulence on the ground, and it was corrected basically through their communication manager. So I want to congratulate the Barbados, and what happened in Trinidad, I really can't account for, but certainly in my communication here in Barbados with Redjet officials, I'm pretty happy with the way they cooperated with me here in Barbados, because it was a very trying experience, and under these circumstances, I would say that here in Barbados it did pretty well.
The Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations has had its say on the 2011 budget. General Secretary Dennis DePisa is disappointed that government did not use the opportunity to look at public sector wages and salaries. He said based on the projected 2 and 2.5% growth in 2011, the Congress was expecting that government would have used the opportunity to set out a framework for public sector pay increases over the next 2 years. Mr. DePisa also noted that there was no adjustment to the income tax bands in order to offset some of the effects of inflation on workers. He is disappointed that government did not accept the Congress's request for a reversal of the earlier decision disallowing credit union members from claiming income taxes on their special savings. CIDUSAB has, however, welcomed that there was no new taxation, and also the decision to put $50 million over the next 5 years to support cultural industries. Well, the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation today bade farewell to a long-standing stalwart. Anderson Farmer, who worked as a security guard at the Pine location as well as Sturgis and Blackrock, has retired after 38 years with the CBC. Acting General Manager Roderick London thanked him for his many years of service in helping to maintain security at the corporation and wished him a happy retirement. Some of Farmer's colleagues gathered for the event, at which CBC presented him with a number of gifts. Happy retirement, Mr. Farmer, from all of us here at the CBC.